So I think we're going to start with doing a quick check-in and just telling you what was going on in the last. Wait, yeah, please mute yourself. And what's been going on with us, and then we want to talk about the group process. We want to talk about, we started crafting the goal offering, Garden of Life offering, what it means, the different communities, the village, the bigger movement. So we started mapping it and mapping the offering of each community. So we're going to go through that. And eventually, David is going to go through the pioneering village offering that we have. We have a beautiful piece of land, Grandola, and David's going to go through, there's like all of the opportunity about the land and what it means. So that's what we're going to do, and we hope to do all of that and then give you all the time to ask any questions that you have. And does that sound good? Or yeah? Yeah, okay. Okay, so just I'll start with sharing that exactly today, last week, we had a working retreat. David, Amit, Arad, and myself. Arad isn't here because his baby isn't feeling well. But we had a working retreat of 2 days, and in it, we had the opportunity to really go deep, also ourselves and our connection, and also to understand this movement and what we wish this movement will be, and what we wish the summer will be, and what kind of community and groups we want to create. And so it was very exciting, and I'm super excited that you're here, and that you're here watching, that you're here with us. I know, like, it's not something we take for granted, and we really appreciate you being here, and also the people that will join us and will see this recording. So thank you. It feels like a very special time. David, Amit, who wants to share? Amit.
Hey everyone. So I've been working on the groups, which is the onboarding process for Goal. And yeah, I've been writing the content for the meetings, and also was responsible for all the administration part of the groups. And I'm really excited to just experience that already and meet you all and kind of get this community more close. And today I feel like we are getting kind of closer. And also in our retreat, it felt like things become more and more clear. And the more it gets clearer, the better it can happen, the sooner it can happen. So yeah, I'll detail afterwards about the groups and what is kind of the vision around it, and for people that wants to join, how to do it, and you can ask questions and everything.
And a little check-in from me. So I'm back after 5 days in a tribal gathering with my kids, primitive crafts, and it was amazing. And the feeling of a tribe together in the nature, and the possibility of living such a life. It's like the feeling that when you come back from Burn Festival or different kind of gatherings, and you say, yeah, I want to continue that, but how can we adapt this to real life? So this is I'm with this inspiration of beautiful people together. And also to say that before that, a week before, I was in Portugal, in the land, trying to understand if it's possible. It's a very beautiful one. I will tell a bit more about it. And just another word about the groups, Amit will elaborate, but just to say that we feel that we finished a chapter of opening up and sending a very open call to the universe and attracting beautiful people in the path, with us or without us, to find their place in the world, their home in the world. And that we are now kind of narrowing a bit in order to go deeper. We understand that we are the main resource, we are the main energy, we are the main thing that we need to understand. How can we get to know better, create intimate relationships? Because Garden of Life eventually is all about relationships and creating together. So we understand that we need to work in groups in a more intimate way to make sure that when we make the decision and start our journey to the land or to other areas of Garden of Life, it will be based on a deeper understanding of the togetherness that we want to build here. So this is where we are now, and on the verge of the next steps of getting the stakes higher, committing more in time, in money, in energy. And I think this will show us and will reveal who wants to be part, who is able to be part, and where do we really stand in terms of downloading this vision to reality. So that's where we are now, and that's I am now.
Amit.
Okay, so thanks, David. So I'll say a few things about the groups. There are two that open this week, and every month we'll open another group. There is going to be a group in English for the international community that will start at the end of April. So you're welcome to join. The groups are all about, like David said, just getting to know each other, get closer, understand who you're gonna spend the summer with. We're gonna align language and practices together that we want to practice, and like decision making, like the way we have conversations in groups, things like that. So yeah, we're gonna experience that in the groups. And what else? Yeah, the groups are actually the funnel to get in. We'll get to know more of the vision, and we'll co-create together some project for the summer. So yeah, that's
And
about the groups.
maybe to add a bit about that, we are experimenting now in a kind of a human operating system that is based on a group. Because when we are part of a group, we see each other in the circle and we are seen. And we think that we need to make sure that people that are joining Garden of Life are aligned with the vision, are coming with the right intention. And when I'm in a group, I will get reflections, and the group will know who I am. And eventually, the moment we will need to make a decision that we're stepping in to the Garden of Life in a more practical and committed way, the group will be the circle that will help us understand that this is for us and we are for that. And also going forward, we believe that we will be always part of a group. So a group could be the place where we are creating a project, or the group could be the group of houses that we live in a more intimate way together. Or it could be like a thematic group of all the education people in the garden that are working to develop the education system. It doesn't matter, but when we are in a group, we can always go back to this basic thing of relationship, of communication, of reflecting and aspecting. So this is kind of the logic behind it, and if it will be successful, it will become a very significant part of the process of the Garden of Life culture.
Yeah, and also that we are planning to do it together. So right now we're going to hold the space for those groups, but potentially people that have went through the process could go on to
Yes, right. In the beginning of May, we're gonna do some training for people who wants to continue to
To
facilitate.
facilitate. Mhm.
Yeah, so you'll be able to.
Yeah. And so you could potentially, after doing this process, do your own process to your group of friends that you want to bring in with you, because eventually we want to know who are the people. We want to know that they are aligned. And just to say, there are a lot of people looking for communities. It's, I think, the thing that people long the most. And the Garden of Life isn't about opening the door to everyone. Not in a snobbish way, but realistically, we want people who want to go in this path and who understand the meaning of community and the meaning of doing work, emotional work, relationship work. We know it's hard to have a partner. Sometimes we don't agree on things and there's tension, and if we talk about it or we don't talk about it, now multiply it to a community. It's a path, and we want people who will choose to walk this path with us.
It's a path.
It's a path, and we hope to give the tools along the way for all of us to do it in the best way. Thank you, Amit, and I will show you a document that I prepared, and I also want to say that this is the first draft of it, and it's a work in progress, but we understand that it's a lot to take in, and we needed to map it of what is the offering of Garden of Life and what are kind of the different statuses we have. So first of all, garden ecosystem, it's being an audience to this movement. Yeah, someone can you please mute, because I just hear some noise. So garden ecosystem, it's a audience, those who see us, whether on the Telegram group or on the WhatsApp group, that feel this calling, but are still on the outer circle. And there is the opportunity is to join Garden of Life. And the first way in is through, we called it a sprout, the onboarding phase, which is actually the group process. We don't want people to enter it just because they can pay. We want to have people in this phase that are going through a process together, that are meeting people. It's 320 euros right now. It's for 5 meetings of between 2 to 3 hours, and it's content that is based on Game B mentality, on relating, everything that Amit talked about. And after this is kind of, you're paying also for the process, but it's also kind of the first year of membership to the Goal DAO, to the Garden of Life DAO, Garden of Life Co-op. And it's because we see it as a movement that is larger than the different villages. So being a Goal DAO member basically gives you, I'll just say that I'll send it to you so you can read it deeper and comment, and I'm just going through it quickly. But a member in the Goal DAO can take part in this movement. We're going to have a decision-making platform. We're going to have a Notion where we're going to update the different documents and the different progress that we have. And you, so you have voting rights. We're going to have monthly Zoom gatherings. We're going to have community events, hopefully retreats and festivals. And you're going to get for the annual subscription, also nights in the village at cost price. Again, the numbers will vary, but there is going to be also a discount on all events and accommodation in all the different villages that we're going to have. We're going to have many villages in the future. And basically the thing that is the offer is the fact that you can, that this is the only way for you to join to be in the village DAO or to be a Nomad DAO member. Nomad DAO member, so membership of the Nomad DAO, which is a co-op for nomads who want to have more nights on the land and to be, you know, they want to be a part of this movement, be summers or holidays. So you buy 3,000 euros annual membership, which we talked about tokens. For now, we're putting the tokens aside, but 3,000 euro annual membership will grant you to be a Nomad DAO member and voting rights in that DAO, which will be a DAO of itself, with monthly gatherings and community events, and somewhere between 50 to 75 nights in the village at cost, and a discount. Again, all these numbers are still estimation only. The village DAO member, there's going to be a residence neighborhood and a nomad neighborhood. Resident, I want to live there, this is my home. Nomad, I'm a visitor, I come and go. And I think we're going to skip this because David will speak about it in just a minute. Yeah, David or Amit, anything I didn't mention you think I should add?
I'm not sure that all the participants here heard the last update call where we explained and mapped in a slower way all the parts in this ecosystem. So maybe just for a moment, I will share my whiteboard.
Oh, you should see that. We did a really nice job in the in the last Zoom.
Just for 1 second for you to see. Just to give a little bit of orientation about all the things. Okay. But this is not the whiteboard I mean. 1 second. No, maybe this is, yes. Okay. So I don't know where all the words are, but anyway, we have like the big square is the ecosystem, the part where people are audience, and then going into the inner square, you are already part of the Garden of Life DAO. It's like the broader collective of the cultural movement. And then within this area, we have the village, we have the nomad community, we have many different parts in it. So these are the layers that Arava just mentioned now. And maybe it's hard to grasp it for us. It's already a thing that we're talking a lot about it, but we try to simplify it, and I'm sure that we will simplify it even more. But we felt that a lot of questions that came to us were around, you know, numbers, practicalities, and we did the best we could for now to give more clarity here. So we invite you also to ask later and to get more understanding of it and to challenge also our ideas. So that's about the board. How do I take it out now? Let's see. Close whiteboard. Okay. So Ava, now it's my time.
Yes.
Okay. Any question until now that someone wants to share or add before I go into the land itself and the village DAO? Okay, so I will share.
I got quite a few questions, but I think I'll wait until you explain, and maybe you'll be already answering my questions.
Okay, great. So I will start with a short video.
I can just say that you can also write in the chat so you don't forget, and so that, like, just to say, if you want, you can also write in the chat questions.
Great. So I'm starting with a little video. I'm not sure if you've seen it by now. It's a video of the land. With the funny music, yeah, funny sound.
We can barely hear, so.
This is always surprising. The owner renovated an old house and made it like a little palace.
אם אתה יכול להסביר תוך כדי מה אנחנו רואים? מה זה המבנים האלה?
כן, אני אסביר עוד שניונת. אנחנו רואים פה, זה האגם הדרומי, זאת המחצבה העתיקה מימי הרומאים, שהיא לא פעילה כבר.
דוד, באנגלית. Back to English.
Yes, English. Sorry. This is the old mining that is about 10% of the whole land. This is the northern area where the village is going to be built. This is the center with the already existing homes that were renovated and will be mostly for public spaces. And I'm going to stop share for a moment. Okay. So this is just to give you like a little picture of the land that we are now negotiating. After seeing about 50 lands in the last, I don't know, year and a half, bigger, smaller, with more infrastructure and less, I feel that this is a land that if we will be able to close this deal, will give us the best, the optimal conditions to really build the vision and to really to build a full-blown village. So this is one thing about the land. And as you saw in the video, so there are two lakes, the southern one and the northern one. There are a lot of already existing buildings with permits that were renovated, with 12 hospitality rooms, with a Buddhist temple, with a lot of nurseries for trees, about 3,000 trees there, and a lot of infrastructure that we can use actually to start the building, to land our village before we have all the permits for the private homes. It's and I'm going to show now the presentation, and this way we can go over everything. Just a second.
Where is the land situated?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you now on the map and everything. 1 second. I'm just. Okay. So we're gonna start. Okay. So what I'm going to present now is a partnership offer. So I'm taking into account that you've heard already about Garden of Life, and if not, we have a lot of materials for you to kind of understand better. But when we're talking about Garden of Life, we're talking about real partnership. It's a co-op from day one, and it's a project that it's not for profit. As a community, we can generate a lot of revenues, we can generate a lot of abundance for us and for people around, but it's not a for-profit project. It's a community-funded project. And so this land that we are talking about now, 1 second, we already saw this. So it's located 1 hour and 15 minutes from Lisbon Airport, near a city that is called Grandola. It's where the movement of the revolution in Portugal started. So it's like a very famous city in Portugal. It's about 20 minutes from the beach. And it has a train that gets about 10 minutes from the land. So it's like, in terms of location, it's a very good land. And another thing that is very special about this land, not only that it's very beautiful and it's very, very big, it has also a huge potential of building rights. So we've already checked, we did like the basic due diligence that we are doing for every land that we are checking with our architects. And we see that we are able to build what we are imagining now. And we are starting now a process that is called PIP, which is like pre-approval of our plans. So a few more pictures you can see. The owner had a similar vision about 10 years ago, but he did it on his own. He's 67 years old, Portuguese that lived most of his life in Singapore and Vietnam. Is Buddhist, so we have also a Buddhist temple that you can see in the left-hand lower left corner. And he invested a lot in this place to create his vision of Garden of Life, or his vision of heaven on earth. But he became a bit tired. You know, his family is not living there. He's not living there. He's investing a lot of energy, but this is not enough to take 150 hectare, which is 1,500 dunam. So that's the land. You can see the location of the land. So it's very close to Lisbon. And also you can see some kind of drawing that I did for the land that kind of shows, so this is the shape of the land, and we can divide it into two pieces. There is the northern part, which is the green and less developed part of it with the northern lake. And there is the southern part that has the southern lake has the area in the center of the old mine, that all the geological and also chemical and other tests were made to make sure that there are no like land contamination and stuff like that. And we have the center of this land that has all the houses that you already seen in the pictures. And we have a vision for this land to develop areas that will have different uses. So all the northern area will be for the residential part, people that are coming to live in this village, and it will be developed in phases. So first phase will be in the center, where you can see like the drawings of the old ruins. We have for sure 7,000 square meters of building rights coming from the ruins that are 100% possible. We have 3,000 square meters already existing of the houses that are already built and renovated. And we have potentially around 20,000 square meters for touristic use. This is a more challenging thing to receive, but we are checking it now with the authorities. And so I'm going over a lot of information here, but I feel that we need to put it like in a very clear way. So first of all, this is an invitation to be part of realizing Game B, to be part of Garden of Life. This is not a real estate investment. If you're here for like a real estate opportunity, then this is not the place for you. Although I believe it's a very good investment or a very good partnership to be part of, but this shouldn't be the intention, and the agreements would be designed in a way that are optimizing for people that are either living on the land, and this is their first home, or people that are nomad in the Garden of Life movement, and this is their kind of second home, and that are coming for mid to midterm periods of a couple of months every year. And also for people that are in transition and are exploring the opportunity to move to this village, but they're not sure yet, and they want to come for a certain period. And also people that either don't want or cannot afford themselves to own a home. Someone needs to put on mute, please. So this is like this is the invitation, and we are inviting people to be real partners. Okay, it's not there is no kind of a circle that is holding everything for everyone. So we are doing it together. This is what we are inviting you for, us for. All the numbers are estimations. This is very important. We are doing our best to bring the most accurate numbers, and we are improving as we go. But the final numbers will be the numbers that the actual numbers, so also need to take in consideration. This is why we put a range. Everything is transparent. You can visit all the documents that we are creating. You can comment on all the documents, and you are invited to become contributors and to help us and bring your experience and knowledge, but also to be very aware not to consume the group's time too much. If you're not contributing or you're not a professional, then be aware, because this is part of managing our collective resource of time and presence. Construction will be done in each cluster together. It means that there's going to be clusters of homes, let's say 6 to 10 homes in a little group, like the groups that we said before. So these will be the phases of construction, to make sure that you are not moving into a home where someone else is now building on your head for the next 2 years, and to make sure that we are starting and finishing together. Much more details about it later on in the agreements. 1 second, sorry. Something happened here. Okay. By the time we will need to sign an agreement and commit, we will have pre-approval of the building rights. It means that we will have more clarity about what we have, at least about the basic things. We will have cost of construction based on third parties' offer, and we will have design guidelines. So this is more information that we will have along the way that will give more ground for the decision. If there will be profits of this cooperative, they will go to the village DAO. So no one is earning anything personally. We are preparing an update about the compensation model of Garden of Life, and exposing more about money and power and dynamics that we are exploring to give more transparency here. But this is an important thing to know. So no one is getting a personal profit here, besides living the life that we always dreamed of, which is the best profit in the world, but not the monetary one. All members have equal rights, and I think this is the most important thing, we take responsibility together, and we share risks and costs and profits together. So you are invited, if you are joining, to be part of a circle that is holding this. About the land, so I said 150 hectare, about 1 hour drive from Lisbon Airport. We have existing buildings that are estimated at about 2 million euro in market value. We have mine. We have about 5,000 fruit trees that were planted by the owner of the land. We have greenhouses, as I said, hangars, and much more. We are still evaluating the land, and we are using appraisers to help us to make sure that this is a good deal. I can tell you that I have personal experience in these kind of deals. It's not the first time for me, and I have a very good team in Portugal that is supporting this professionally. And I think I didn't say it, but it's maybe written somewhere. But the cost of this land is approximately 6.5 million euro. This is the total cost of the land. It's not. It's a lot. And we saw lands for much less, but we understand that as a collective project with the vision that we have, this is the kind of land that we need. These are the building rights that we need, and it will be the best investment to put, like when we do the first project, to do it in the optimal conditions. And when we finance it together as a community, it becomes a good investment, makes a lot of sense. You will see the numbers soon. What we have in mind for this land, that these are the different business or commercial uses. So we already explore an ability to put a solar field on the mine, and it has like a good. We have good indications from experts in the field that this is possible and makes a lot of sense. We think about developing an agrotech hub with all the agriculture areas, about 20 to 30 hectares. We plan to have a workspace with the best internet, with like a fiber optic internet, and to build some kind of outsource R&D center to help people that are living on the land to work remotely and to get a good salary. We want to have a hospitality center with a guest house, and also to develop a touristic project in the future in the Southern Lake. All the things that I'm saying now are based on the like first thinking and checking and developing like a basic business plan. And we want to have like a business owner for each idea to develop. We plan to have a school and much more facilities for the public use. And these things are going to be developed in the first phase to make sure that when we land there and start building our homes, we can also make our living and have our kids going to the best education, etc. So it's a full-blown vision of a village. And if you haven't read yet, there is a document of the village vision with a lot of things inside, and we will share it again later. So current status of the project. So we are in the due diligence process, legal and also planning-wise, and we are starting to work on the pre-approval of the building rights. And we are negotiating with the owner. Tomorrow we have another call with him. He's very flexible in terms of the payments schedule, and he's also is willing to talk about the cost. And he started by advertising it in 9 million euros, went down to 7, and then a bit less than 7. It's been like about a month and a half of negotiating. I'm leading the negotiation, but people that are going to be part of the first phase of the core village DAO members will be invited to join the circle of negotiation, and to have like other groups, other circles in this process to share the responsibility and to share the knowledge. Questions until now? Great. Okay, so the investment itself. So the payment is approximately 160 to 200,000 euros that will be paid in 2 tranches. The first payment will be 80 to 100,000, and it will give all of us the right for 100 1,500 square meters of land with the right to build a house of about 120 square meters. And also a share in the village DAO. So this share, let's call it a share, not necessarily a share, but the rights of all the activities and all the ownership, the co-ownership of the wider land, not only my private land. So I'm going to have my private land, and we're going to have the collective land. And just to say something, so the rights are going to be contractual rights, not registered officially, because we cannot separate the land into smaller pieces for now. We might be able to do it in the future, like condominium, for one of you understands it. But we're going to have internal registry. So there's going to be a map that indicates your specific land with a map signed by a notary and with a contractual right. So, so just to understand the legal framework here. And so this is the first phase. And then after about 6 to 10 months, based on the permits that we want to have for the first phase, and the time that we want to sign the contract with third parties to develop things that we cannot develop on our own. So there's going to be the second phase of paying 70 to 110,000 to develop the house itself. We believe that the numbers might be less than this, but we prefer to give like the wider range and to have good surprises, because we are still, you know, in the beginning of everything. And we believe that it will take us 2 to 3 years to get to the residential unit, the final homes. So maybe first phases will be earlier, let's say in a year and a half, but we're going to do it in phases. I'm going to go over it soon to understand what will be like the phases. Okay, questions here? Great.
I think one of the questions that was written in the chat was, what about aspects of citizenship? So like Portuguese citizenship
Yeah.
you know, I'm European, so I can stay here as long as I want. If you're not European, you have a visa, and unless you have some sort of work or something, I don't know about the visas for anybody else because I'm European. So,
so first of all,
we don't want people to get kicked out.
Yes. So first of all, if someone in the group would like to kind of prepare a document about this, because many people are asking and we didn't have the chance to go deeper into it yet, so we will very much appreciate it. I can say that if you don't have European citizenship, so what I know and what we are checking is, first of all, there is an ability for a golden visa if you invest more than 250,000 euros for the ones that are able to do that. So this is one opportunity, and we want to help or make sure that our legal frame can support it. We're checking it. So this is one thing. The second thing is that we're going to have businesses here, companies that are operating businesses, hospitality, R&D, agrotech. And we, from what we've checked until now, but this is not like a formal answer, but there is a possibility to receive employment visas. And also other options to be there legally. So, but I think that eventually it depends on each person and his citizenship, etc. So just to tell you that this is not something that we will organize together. Like it will be a personal thing to make sure that you can solve it, and we will do our best as a collective to support it and to create the conditions to help everyone find his own solution. Any other question? Okay.
Yeah, hi. Hi. I'm Jonathan. The first quick question is, you probably had to spend some money already for flying, for due diligence, all the stuff like this. Is it private money, or how is it going up to now?
So we haven't spent a lot of money until now. Some of the money, like the money for all the events and everything that we did, which is a very basic principle, were funded by the community. So every event and everything that we did until now, also the summer village is going to be in the same model. And all the rest, I gave a small loan for the project. And I'm inviting everyone that wants to give this a similar loan to the project until we're able to kind of gather enough money. We are structuring something that we are calling the Goal Foundation. And this will be an entity or a facility to move these loans and give them to the cooperative. So this is what we did until now. And this is my kind of contribution present, how you want to call it. I'm not getting much out of it, but we put like the bank interest that is now given in Israel for euro, and this is what I will get for this loan. And hopefully, very soon we won't need it because people will join, and that's what we're counting on.
Thank you. And another question is something worth thinking about that I didn't see yet mentioned is an exit strategy. If someone wants to leave the cooperative, I think it's worth discussing. It's an issue.
We'll get to it. I'm still in the happy story of getting in, and then we're going to touch a bit of the happy story of getting out, and also the downside protection if something goes wrong along the way.
Yeah.
So we also did like a kind of risk management process here.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to continue, and then I'm going to give some more time for questions. So regarding the timeline, which is not final, but this is kind of the timeline that we are trying to build with the owner, and based on our desire, how we want to build this deal. So now this is a first call for the lenders, for investors, to put money to help us put the first payment before the pioneers are investing. This is what I said as the loan that I was talking about. And then we are planning to have a couple of visits on the land. By the way, all of you are invited to the land. You just need to talk to me before and I will organize it. But we want to also organize like a visit together as a group around end of April, beginning of May, because you need to feel it. You need to see it like the first thing before the summer, because the process of buying the land is not necessarily aligned with our internal community process. And we understand that if we want to secure this deal, we need to act quickly. So there was going to be a visit on the land. We're going to go deeper into the due diligence and the pre-approval of the building rights. And it will take us about 2 to 3 months, this process, until we can give the authorities our planning. And they have 30 days. Sometimes they can use another 30 days to give us a formal answer. And then the first group, we said we're going to open for 15 pioneers to be the first group of partners investing the money between May and July. It will be 80,000. It will secure the building rights for the private home with the land and also the share in everything. And we are giving here some kind of incentive for this first group, because this is the riskiest part, so some kind of advantage here, financial advantage for the first group. This group will go through a process of getting to know each other more deeply, of working together in the coming months. And also it's going to be a group of, some of the people will be people that plan to become residents and want to move to the land and have their first home. And there will be also a place for nomads. So a ratio that we haven't decided yet, but 50-50 or 75-25 for residents. So this is the first phase. And we're doing it slowly because we want to make sure that we're building it in the right way. If we open up for like 50 people, we cannot hold the space for this and make sure that we are building it correctly. And so this is why we're doing it gradually. And every phase, we will make sure that, okay, there is a group that is connected, that is aligned, intimate enough, and that is able to hold space for more people to join. So this is why we're doing it this way, and we are constructing the deal to support it. So from July to November, we're going to have in the middle the summer village in August on the land. That will be the second call for people that wanting to invest. We're going to open it up for 30 people. And then the next phase will be from November until July 24. And that will be the third phase, another 30 people. And we plan, hopefully, to have in the spring of 24, around April, a festival on the land, like a big festival, building together, planting trees together, and this will be like the launching of the village. And between this summer, the summer village, until that moment, we're going to have a temporary village in the area of the summer village that can host about 15 to 30 people. If it's families, so a bit less. And that's like the first phase. And then we have the second tranche. So for the first and second group, we believe that around April 24, all these 45 people will need to put the money for the construction. And we want to make sure that it's clear that there is a real commitment here. So we are doing it in two tranches to simplify it for people to bring the money, but actually this is money that needs to be ready. And then October 24, the third group will put their money. Again, estimations of the timeline and the numbers, but it's like 90%, I think, accurate. Any question about this? Okay, I hope it's clear enough. Really a lot of information, but we can digest it more and more in the coming weeks. So we have a question and answers document that we will share with you. Maybe Arava, you can put it now in the chat. And you are invited to put questions and answers in this document for us and for people that will read it later on. And we will kind of manage it. But I wanted to put like a spotlight on the downside protection. So imagine a scenario that first and second group are putting the money, and then along the way we understand that something is different than what we expected. Different building rights, I don't know, the community is not ramping up the way we thought, whatever. Like scenarios that are not the planned. So we have three layers of protection, and another one that is not written here that I will share. The first layer is just to convert this into a touristic business plan that we are already building. So to take the land, to create like a touristic center with little huts around the lakes. This is a real business. Like we believe that this is possible to do. We believe that by doing it, we'll be able to bring the money back. It will require to raise money. I have experience in that, and I believe that this is possible. I don't want it to happen, but this is possible. So this is one protection. The second thing is that the land is already divided into 6 pieces. And we can sell it in pieces. It will take a bit more time. It will require some adjustments. But we believe that by doing it, we will get all the money back and even more. The owner doesn't want to sell it separately, but we believe that this is a good way out if needed. And another thing that we are going to put in the contract that I don't want to get there, but let's say that this is also some kind of protection, is that we can, along the way, we can pay a penalty and go out within the schedule of the payments. So until the last payment is due, we can do this. So losing 10% on the one hand, on the second hand, this is a way out if something really bad happens. And there is another option that people from the group, and we are already discussing it, people that with the ability to finance it, will buy the land and will do something on the land and will help people to get their money back. we understand that we are not equal in the financial ability in the group. Some people have more, some people have less, and that and this is also part of kind of being a real community and bridging the gap here. So this is about the downside protection. Question about that?
Yeah,
Does it say in the brackets that 10% penalty is 650,000 euros?
Yes, for the land itself, for the whole deal.
Mm-hmm. All right, because the house itself is between 160 and 200K, and the
Yeah, the
penalty
land is 6.5 million euro. The
Yeah,
whole land.
yeah.
I'm talking just
So
about
that might be a case if
after
someone
we finish
buys
buying
the
land, we start
house.
developing. This is a different story.
Yeah.
But within the
Yeah.
first year, this is our another way out.
Mhm.
You're
All right.
talking about the units, like each unit is like 2,000 euros, right? Yeah.
200,000, you mean? 150 to 200,000?
Yeah. This is like for one family or for one person, right?
120 square meters.
Okay. Is this possible to share? Like if I don't have enough money or
Yes, in the bylaws of the village, we will discuss this in more details. By the way, you have it written in some of the documents already about the village vision. So we want to make sure that the agreements between us are very clear and make sure that people are not incentivized to do a real estate deal here. This is one thing. Second thing is to make sure that in the residential area, we don't have people that are like ghost house or renting houses or people coming and going. And we want to make sure that people that are coming and going are in the nomad neighborhood. Imagine that you live in a cluster with half of the houses empty or people coming and going that you don't really know. This is not like a good feeling. So we are creating like a healthy relationship between the need for people to have like their home there and to know their neighbors and to develop deep relationships, and also to have the ability for more mobility and movement and energy coming from the outside and the transition mode of people that are in the process. It might take a couple of years for people to make the decision, and also to enable people that are unable to buy to live there. And we are thinking about models of reverse like taking the rent and earning it as kind of money to buy your home. But this is like a 2.0 version. We're not there yet. We're still in the basic things. And so if you want to buy a home together, this is totally possible within the bylaws that we have. And we will encourage groups to come together and take a cluster of a couple of homes. And we will encourage group of nomads to build a nomad home in the nomad neighborhood for the group and share it together. We believe that a group is like a very basic structure here that will secure a lot of the values and principles that we want to have in this culture.
how many people are in the groups?
Between 8 and to 12. Oh, in the clusters or in the group, the onboarding group?
Both.
Actually, pretty similar number, yeah. This is like aligning.
8 to 12, something like that.
Nice. Okay, thank you.
Is it 100% certain that we have rights to build on the land? I mean, is there something that can prevent it?
So regarding the 7,000 square meters of building rights on the ruins, this is pretty sure. Like we have confirmation from the architects, but we need to have like, but this is like 90-something% accurate. And regarding the touristic building rights, we have the master plan of the authorities to have it, but this is subject to other things like fire policy and number of units in the region that needs to be calculated, and other things that we need to take into account that requires deeper exploration. If Barbara is here in the group, Barbara is
She's here.
leading the planning and wants to add some more like professional perspective here, I would really much appreciate it.
Well, I think for now, there's a process that will take around 3 months that goes through passing all the vision to through a technical team that will build a plan that is going to be submitted and negotiated, high level, I mean political, and in the urban department of the CTO. And no business or no deal will go through without the confirmation of these rights. So there's a work to be done that is going on right now.
Maybe you can give a word about yourself, then your words will echo in a more professional and confident way for people to understand your experience.
Hello, I'm Barbara. I'm from Porto in Portugal, so from the north. And I work in real estate development passionately from a few years now, in some interesting projects that are letting me to work more and more with communities. I studied civil engineering. I worked only a few years in construction, but I've been connected to it from a long time now. And yeah, I don't know. Like everyone else here, I believe I'm going through my own process, personal process of shaping a better world. And that's it.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Any more questions?
Wait, David, we have
Basically, I just wanted to know if there's like no chance that I'll pay the first installment for the land, and then somehow it will be delayed and the house cannot get the permit to start the construction. I mean, are we protected from that?
Yeah, I believe we will be protected from having the rights to build, for sure. And I believe even the size of the house that you will get, the shape of the house, then in big numbers. So this first check will approve like a volume, not exactly the style of your home or where exactly your windows will be. So it's like approving in a higher level the volume that we can build, and only after that we will be buying the land. So only after that you will be buying a part of the land.
And I would like to say that there is a risk. There is always a risk in real estate development, and we need to take it into consideration. I think the main risk is delays, time that takes more, and things we need to check more, and authorities wanting us to do this survey or that survey, and we need to take it into account. So we bring like very professional people to the team, and we'll also hire people that will help us, and we will take like the best professionals that we can find in the field. This is the way I'm used to do these kind of projects, and still there is unknown, and there is no one here that is selling us a home and giving us the whole guarantee. So this is something to really understand. It's a challenge, and it's also an opportunity. If it will be a real estate project, just to compare, so 10 minutes from this land, there is like a second home real estate project that is selling houses between 300 to 500 thousand euros for the same size in a very similar land, like a bit closer to the beach, like 10 minutes from us. And this is the game A. So we're enjoying it together, and we're also taking risks together. And for people that will are able to invest this and want to do this, we will go in deeper into the risk analysis and all the scenarios, and we'll have everything written in our agreements, and we will invite everyone to be part of it. So yeah, so there is risk.
Yeah, and I want to say, David, we have like 2 last slides, and it's getting late. So maybe we'll do the 2 slides and then closing, and whoever wants to stay for questions will stay here, but to get to the closing.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Ava. Okay. So, what is the next phase? So if you want to be part of Garden of Life, either as a global DAO member, or as a village DAO member, or as a nomad, you need to participate in a group process. If there is no place left for this phase of groups, there will be more groups that we're going to open in May. So you should sign. And if there are going to be enough people and someone that can hold the space and facilitate, then we'll open more groups. So we have no intention to with this, but we have the capacity that we can go into a deep process. So this is one thing. Second thing.
Can I say something? In this week, we still have some spaces in your group on Wednesday, and also in Arava's group that's going to be via Zoom on Thursday. So if anyone wants to join, then I'll write in the Agshama group and in the Telegram group, so you can come in.
Yes. So the group that I'm going to facilitate will be on Wednesday evening at my place in Ramat HaSharon in the evening. So you're invited. Okay, so that's about the group, which is the gateway. This is the onboarding to the garden. Second thing, if you're not in a group, or if you are in a group but you want to be part of the first phase of the pioneers of the village, and you are able to invest the investment, then you are invited to be in the work circles of the land. Be part of the negotiating team and help me negotiate and structure the deal, or the legal aspects, tax, and everything. To be part of the planning circle and support Barbara in the planning. To take part in the business development and taking one of the business units that we are thinking of: solar, agrotech, R&D, hospitality, and develop the business plan and understand what will be the right way to do it. And I'm not sure that we should call it auditing, but we want to have some kind of like a red team. So people that are asking the hard questions, criticizing the process, challenging us, and making sure that we are not in love too much and not too optimistic about what we do. So this is another circle, and I know that there are people that this is their talent, to see the challenges, to see what can go wrong, and we want this, and we want to make sure that the first 15 people will be part of the decision making. Someone needs to put on mute, please. And then I'm going to show some roles that we want, and we're inviting people to be part of it. But I'm going to say something that is not necessarily.
From Didi that she just put it on only 5 minutes ago, so we need to wait a bit more.
Yeah. So you
Can you mute, Yannick?
Super right. So if yes, I will need to.
Yes, we're gonna finish soon. So just to say about this, which is not intuitive for everyone, also for me, this is taking me like this is a process of understanding that this is a collective process. You can bring yourself, you can show up, you can lean in, you can decide that there is something missing and you want to write some proposal about it, document and share it with the group. You can take a role. You can think, for example, that there is something about the design that you want to write about, or to create a visual of the village, or you want to write something regarding the relationship between the nomads and the residents, whatever. You are invited. This is open. It will be ours if we'll make it ours. No one is waiting for no one. And we're working really hard to create a void in the center, to create nothingness in the center. No one is giving instructions, and you know, it will happen if we'll make it happen. So I'm saying again, you are invited to contribute. You're invited to bring your voice. And this is the time, actually, because now it's time to influence the most. We plan around September to vote on the first version of all our basic documents, and then every year or every period of time to update it and to create the second version, third version, etc. But I think that the first version is the very important one, not the most important one, but a very important one. And so this is another thing. And another thing for you is to really understand if this is within your ability, financial ability, and to plan the ability to pay, and to see if you want to join the first phase, second phase, third phase, or whatever. I didn't mention it, but I believe we will have rights for more than the amount of homes that we showed here in the 3 phases. So, and if we do it, this will also finance future development. So after covering the cost of the land and construction, we will have more financing. This is also the power of community. And so one last thing, just to show you, I'm not going to go over it, but if it resonates with someone, just, you know, send a message and we will see how it works. I think, yeah, send a message to me, actually, in person. And if I'm not answering, it's because I'm very loaded, so send another message. And these are things that we are looking for now.
I want to say something. I just one last thing. We barely spoke about this summer village. So I'm just going to say a few words about it. This summer, we're going to be together. We're going to practice our vision together. The dates are from the 10th till the 30th of August, and we're planning to do it like we're still negotiating with the land owner, but we're planning to do it on that land, the Grandola land. So yeah, so if you want to kind of envision yourself kind of more getting in, kind of getting to know the people, see more about the vision, contribute from yourself, even if you don't have the money to put now on a house, this will be a way for you to enter the community, to the nomad community. So please, yeah.
Yeah, Ayal wrote an important question in the chat, but I want to recognize that it is here in Israel almost 11 o'clock at night, and to say thank you for all those who joined us tonight. And feel free to stay and listen to other questions, but also just to wrap it up for the official part and say thank you, and also to say right now it is the beginning of something that is very that is still raw, and that you can still be a part in shaping it, and it is a call for pioneers. Not everyone is a pioneer, not everyone is comfortable with the risk that comes along with it, and it's about understanding the opportunity and the opportunity of doing it in a different way. And I think David is someone who has done it before. In Game A, the fact that we have the opportunity to do it in a different way, I really believe that this is only the first step, and that there's going to be a lot of villages and a network that we're going to create. And if you are passionate about creating this network and about structuring this new operating system with us, then you are invited. And we don't know how to do it. We're learning as we go, and we hope that the right partners will join us. So thank you very much. All those who need to leave, feel free, and good night to you. And those who want to stay, maybe Barbara, you can answer Ayal's question. Say something about the neighbors, the cultural, political climate of the area and Portugal, in general, through such projects. How are the locals see all of this?
Hello again. Grandola. So the south of Portugal is quite temperate. It's really comfortable to live. Like literally next week it will be 26 degrees. However, it turns quite hot in the summer. That's why we need a lot of water around our land. There are these 2 dams. There's also the possibility to extend one of the dams and create other ponds, other ways to get and retain the water. In terms of, so the south of Portugal, from Grandola to the Algarve, so Alentejo, it's the name of the region, is booming in terms of community projects. There are many I believe that some of you here tonight must be in Portugal in the south. I wouldn't be surprised, but there are a lot of people trying to do by their own or in small groups what we are here trying to create in a wider way, in a network, wider network. So in the local people, so the region is quite unpopulated, I would say, because it is quite dry, and the mentalities and cultural life is old, in the sense that is mixing now with all of these people settling there. But I think I'm Portuguese. I cannot say I believe I know this, but Portugal is quite welcoming. People are nice all around. It's not that you will find very, I mean, it's widely accepted. Most of the all nationalities, I would say, no really problems with racism or whatever. So I feel like the acceptance of this project in that place would be great. First, I think we will bring new opportunities and new life for a place that is desert, or more desert than we would like to see it. So I don't see any problem in this settling, I would say. I don't know if this is what you expect, Ayal.
Yes, thank you. I can elaborate more, but I think it's, as Arava said, it's quite late now. But thank you. Yeah, and the south of Portugal and in general Portugal was very welcoming. It's very fun, and as Israelis, it's not too hot.
Maybe not so hot as in Israel. Well, yeah. you should be prepared. The summer really gets dry.
Yeah.
For the ones already in Portugal, you can go there, like very easily accessible, and you just go and see, and also share in the groups what you feel. I think this is the best way.
So I understood that it's close to Alentejo and Algarve. I didn't really understand, like in the
northern. It's the northern part of Alentejo. Alentejo is huge, it's like Israel. So it's the northern part of Alentejo, about an hour south from Lisbon, 20 minutes from the beach.
Yeah.
David, can you elaborate a bit more? When you said the first installment includes both the land where you build your house on, but also it includes a share of the bigger land. What actually does it mean to have a share of the bigger land, to have dividends? What does it include?
Yeah, so I will use the example of a kibbutz. Maybe the non-Israelis are not super familiar, but I will try to simplify it. So you have your a kibbutz that is already with private ownership of homes. So you have your own home. It's private. You own it. You can sell it. You have some restrictions because you can only sell it for people that are approved by the kibbutz or whatever. But then the kibbutz are also business activities and public areas. And as a member, you hold the memberships, some kind of a share in the collective. So this is pretty much the same here. So for example, if we have a solar field on the mine, and this is a joint venture with a solar company and the Garden of Life Cooperative, and let's say there are dividends there, or there is a lower rate of electricity for the village, or free electricity for the village. So this is what you receive as a member. For example, if we have I don't know, agrotech hub that generates some kind of income, then we receive it all together. So I believe in the first years, most of the money will go for a communal investment in developing more activities and more public spaces, like a swimming pool, a spa, a sports center, etc. But then in the future, I believe that if all goes well and the plan will be successful, and I believe it is possible, and I've seen the numbers, then we might also have some kind of dividends. Yeah, this is also part of it. And another way, imagine that we understand that we want to sell, I don't know, 10 hectares, which is big, of a side of the land that we don't want to use because we need the funds, and we sell it and we get money inside. So we are owning it together. We can use the money together, and there will be a very clear process of decision making about what we do with money.
Great. You mentioned kibbutz. Does this mean that whatever income one generates, it goes to the community and then we split it, or
no? So I said
separate income.
So first of all, we were talking about it in previous conversations and also written in our papers. But so this is not a socialist project, and it's a project that is really respecting the autonomy of every person, every group, every community that is within the village. And we also share some of the things together. So we are creating a hybrid model that keeps the private ownership and the motivation to be an entrepreneur, to bring your energies. And the model there will be some kind of a community payment fee, tax, however you want to call it, that will finance the ongoing expenses of the village and all the operations and etc.
Great, thanks. Another question. So construction would start earliest within a year and a half. Are there places to stay on the land before construction begins?
Yes, so the plan is to have the opportunity for people to stay on the land after the summer village in a temporary village with homes, there are homes there. So very nice ones actually. So there will be some kind of rent for that, for people that want to be already on the land. And also we're going to try and maybe even already for the summer village, we will, instead of renting things, we will buy some things. So maybe a couple of glamping tents or other solutions that will be also for people, and also the ability to come with your caravan or with a tent if you want. So we're going to have some kind of policy around that, because we believe that we need to start, living on the land much earlier and listen to it and see the seasons and feel it in terms of regeneration and where we want to build each thing. So we want to encourage this.
Great. Is it possible to arrive at the summer village later than the 10th? I mean, if I'm only be available since the 15th, is it possible to arrive not from the very beginning?
So the requirements that we published for the summer village in order to like create some kind of a container here is first to be part of the process groups that are starting. And second thing is to be to attend at least 10 days in the summer village. So this is another thing. And there is an option that the summer village will start with some kind of like a 2 days retreat that will be instead of the group process for people that are joining a bit later or unable to be part of the group process. So we might open like a limited, like for 20, 30 people, if there will be still place, because we're also kind of limiting the number of people in the summer village. So we're gonna open this also opportunity as well.
I have a question, David. Concerning the issue of creating a space that is trying to take out the investors' attitude and like more of a communal space. How would you see that this issue would be dealt with?
So besides the fact that you need to go through a process that requires participating, we also create some limitation on the ability to rent and sell the homes. So first of all, you will need to sell it to people within the community already in the DAO. So they need to go through the process. So it's not like a total market-free home to sell. And also within this, there will be some limitations and some limitations on the price you can sell your home in order not to push prices up as we succeed, because this will be the best place to live in. So there will be a lot of demand. So maybe someone will say, I can sell it for much more. And we see it in a lot of communities around the world. That is this is like the game A coming back to bite us in the ass. So we will agree in advance in our agreements, in our community agreements, in the home agreement, we will agree on that together to protect ourselves from this kind of game A mindset. So this is one thing. And regarding renting, there will be also limitations. So we want to enable the ability to be flexible. And let's say you want to travel, or you need to go back to your home country to be with your family or whatever, but we're going to limit it between a year to 2 years of renting your home. After that, you will be asked to sell it, because you cannot hold the home and just rent it for long term. I mean, in the residential area. If it's in the nomad neighborhood, it's a whole different story. So these are two things that we already started thinking about. Eventually, when we will sign the investment agreement, we will have already all the bylaws about the behaviors and limitations that we are agreeing to take on ourselves to protect the intention and the vision that we are building here. I hope it answers your question.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, everyone, so we're gonna post in the groups this recorded meeting with lots of details. You probably don't remember some of the details, so you'll be able to come back to it, and also the matzeget, the presentation and everything, so it will be in the groups. Really excited to see you all. Yeah.
So David, sorry, can I still ask a question, or you need to go?
No, go ahead. I'm still here.
Yeah, so yeah, it's tired, but it's here. So just for everyone's sake, I've been researching this, and there's tons of communities that have been doing this in Portugal. So and Alentejo specifically as well. So in terms of like we wouldn't be the first, and I'm sure we won't be the last who are looking to actually do stuff like this. I had looked initially for, like, they had a huge list of places that are doing this. So I'll just post the one I found recently. There's one that's actually a little bit more more detailed. But anyways, my actual question was a couple things. One, you mentioned about actually going to visit the land. So I'm here, I can go in anytime I want. Is that something I could do? Like, my family and I were interested in doing that. Because I want to go see the land, and exactly what you're thinking of doing for August. I want to do that next weekend. I want to
text me, and I will connect you to someone that can open the gate for you and bring you.
Okay, yeah. So, and then secondly, the education aspect. I didn't notice anything there, but maybe you saw my kids run into the screen here when I was talking to you, and I believe maybe some other people have kids too. I think that's a really big part of our impetus to start this community. But I would want to really like have that fleshed out a little bit more. So I'm not sure if I didn't see it on the list of groups that you would want or have, but I believe that that's something that's really integral to have set out, especially again if you are a parent and coming in with kids.
Yeah, so yeah, this is a core thing in the village and in the community. And it's all about education, educating ourselves, educating our kids, and creating the right culture and mindset for the life that we want to live. There are people in the community already contributing with their knowledge and experience in education. But there is no circle yet that is really organized for that. And if you have the charge for that and the experience, then you are very much invited. And I believe that eventually, like, there's going to be some kind of education system in the village with like a kindergarten and a school, and also school for grown-ups. And yeah, this is not in the first priority now in the timeline is not dealing with this, not because it's not important, it's because there are different things in the process that we need to solve before. So we didn't put a lot of energy on that yet. Amit had wrote something about it in the past, but I really invite you, if you have the charge, to invite other people and to sit together and to put something on paper. And also, I'm sure there are amazing models in the world to learn from.
We are looking for someone to hold it. In this summer, we're going to work. There is going to be a group that's going to work with it, on it, and also that will work with the kids in the mornings. So.
Okay, yeah, and I guess information will be posted when that group meets, and actually I should be able to see that.
You can also you can just ask who wants, like, just I'm kind of riding on you, but this is just
no, I get it.
But just to say that this is a good example to show. So you have interest or charge in this subject of education, you can post in a group who is interested to start a circle about education. This is the time that I'm suggesting for a Zoom call. And you meet and you write some kind of paper and you post it in the group, you get some comments, and this is kind of how we start to roll it and understand what our needs, etc., etc. So just as an example, and we will get there, like, eventually, even if you are not picking it up now.
Yeah, okay.
Last questions.
So the platform to communicate is through the WhatsApp group. So you have another platform for the communication that is wider.
So now we have the WhatsApp group in Israel and the Telegram group that is international. And we have smaller groups for the group processes and the circles. But I'm going to give you like a surprise before time, but we are in April, the core team is starting to work with like a tech platform that is built for cooperatives or DAOs. We're going to play with it a little bit. It's some kind of a hybrid between Gmail, Discord, and Slack, if you know. And we're going to also open the Notion that Arava and her team is working to develop. The Notion is like a website, let's call it. It's where all the updated documents are and where we can collaboratively work on them, read them, know what's happening, put updates. And so we are working slowly to open it up, to make sure that it's good, it's working well, it's transparent, etc., etc. So this is what we're gonna have. So once you're in the DAO, for example, if you committed for the summer, you paid the money, or in a group process, we will open it up around end of April, and you will join this digital space of the DAO.
So maybe one last question
Can you say it?
before everybody goes.
Two last questions.
Okay. So in terms of who needs to go through the process, if you're coming as a family and you and your spouse and the kids, are there certain ages they also need to go through the process or pay membership fees, or do you think about that?
So for now, at least one member of the family needs to be in the group process to enable the whole family to come for the summer. And then in the summer, we'll work with the whole family. There will be activities and things that it's not going to be compulsory, but it's going to be great and fun for kids, and for even if your partner is not into the vision as you are, but just to expose her more. So this is for now, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And another word about like payments. So yeah, the two parents will need to be members of the DAO to pay this 320. And for the summer village, we are aiming for 50 euro per adult per day. And maybe it will be a bit more. And kids are not going to pay this. They're just going to cover the food expenses. It's a children-friendly community. And you have 4 kids, Amnon, so you're gonna make a fortune on us.
Can you say a few more words about the working groups? They're going to start the end of March.
Which is
Since
now.
things sound a bit vague.
Yeah, so it's gonna be 4 meetings, 2 meetings via Zoom and 2 meetings in person. It depends which group you're on. And we're
Thursday
just
group.
gonna, what?
The Thursday group.
The Thursday group is gonna be through Zoom, and we're gonna have we're gonna learn how to talk in groups and how to share from our hearts and to understand our game, what we internalized on game A, belief system, and what we wish for ourselves to happen, and kind of discover that. And we're going to learn some NVC, nonviolent communication, and then sociocracy, how to make decisions in groups. So all kinds of tools and knowledge that will help us navigate together. Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, guys, we'll have much more time for questions in the summer village and along the way. And you're also invited to ask us in person and to share things in the group. And thank you very much for holding and being together here. And if you know that you already want to commit and to be part of the 15 core pioneers, then tell us, because there is a limit space here. And so no, I don't want to rush anyone, but just to say that if you already know or able to make a decision, then do it. It will create also a lot of clarity for everyone. So, and I wish you a beautiful week, presence, love, power, and good energies.
Thank you very much.
Ciao, everyone.
Good night.
תודה, לילה טוב, ביי.
Thank you.